You have never thought about who runs a country of 800 people, but somewhere on a hill in the middle of Rome someone does. He wears white. He has no army of his own. And the way he holds power breaks almost every rule your brain has about what a leader is supposed to be. You probably think leadership scales up. More people, more structure, more force. But the real answer is far stranger. The smaller the group, the stranger the rules of power become. Vatican City has a population smaller than most high schools. One man sits at the top. He was not elected. He was not born into the role. And yet almost no one who lives there tries to remove him. Why? To understand this, you need to go back to groups this size, because that is the size your brain was actually built for. The anthropologist Robin Dunbar found that your brain has a rough ceiling on stable social relationships, landing around 150 people. Below that number, everyone knows everyone. There is nowhere to hide bad behavior. This is the size your ancestors actually lived in for almost the entirety of human history, not nations, bands. The anthropologist Christopher Boehm studied hunter-gatherer societies and found they were fiercely anti-hierarchical. If someone tried to dominate the group had tools to stop it. Gossip, shaming, withdrawal of cooperation, exile. Boehm called this a reverse dominance hierarchy. The many controlled the one, not the other way around. So how does someone rule 800 people, alone for decades, with no army and no vote? Vatican City is not run the way a country your size is run. It runs the way your ancestors' bands were run, just wearing different clothes. The Pope's authority does not come from force. It comes from something older and more fragile. It comes from legitimacy inside a tightly bonded group that shares one overwhelming belief system. Here is the twist. Size is not what makes a leader powerful. Belief is. A leader with thousands of soldiers, but no legitimacy is weaker than a leader with none but total belief behind him. History is full of massive, armed governments that collapsed in days once belief cracked underneath them. Think about the last rule you followed that you did not fully agree with. You probably did not calculate the odds of punishment. You just followed it. Because something underneath told you the person enforcing it had a right to ask. That feeling is legitimacy, and it is the actual engine behind almost every system of power you live inside. The psychologist Stanley Milgram tested this directly. He told ordinary people to deliver what they believed were painful shocks to a stranger, simply because a man in a lab coat told them to continue. Most of them did, not because they were forced, because in that moment, the man in the lab coat represented legitimate authority. When Milgram changed small details, an office instead of a prestigious lab, instructions by phone instead of in person, obedience dropped sharply. The instructions never changed. Only the visible signals of legitimacy did. Now go back to the smallest country on Earth. No standing army, no walls that could survive a real invasion. Just an institution that has outlasted empires with millions of soldiers behind them. The secret is not the walls. It is that everyone inside them agrees, almost completely, on why the leader has the right to lead. Remove that agreement and the walls mean nothing. This is why massive nations spend so much effort manufacturing something 800 people get for free. Flags, anthems, shared enemies, national holidays. Almost all of it exists to fake the feeling of small group belonging that a real small group never has to fake. You are not built to be ruled by scale. You are built to be ruled by trust. Inside a group small enough to actually see the person leading it. Every time you trust a small team over a massive institution, every time you follow someone you respect without needing threats, you are running the same ancient software that kept power in check for 200,000 years before empires ever existed. Somewhere on a hill in Rome, a country the size of a small town runs on exactly this. Not soldiers, not scale, belief. Held together by a group small enough for everyone to actually see who is holding it. And the strange truth underneath all of it is this. You have never thought about who runs a country of 800 people, because deep down, your brain already understood the answer before you ever asked the question.